It may sound strange to say, but I am going to suggest to you that God is an amateur, and you ought to be one too. Now, look, in modern parlance, when we say the word amateur, it has these negative connotations, as in someone who's not very good at something. I'm not talking about that. When we look at the roots of the word amateur, it means someone who's doing something out of love. They love what they are doing, and they're doing it without hope for personal gain. They've got nothing to get out of it other than an embodied enactment of their love. So, in this particular way, I'm suggesting to you that God is an amateur. God is love, created the world because he is love. For he so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that those who believe in him would not perish, but have eternal life. So, boy, how do we become amateurs just like God? How do we become more loving? How do we body forth the love that God made us to be? I'm going to suggest that there's a kind of roundabout thought exercise you can use to get at you in your most amateurish state. Um, I'll say that it's so much easier if we have faith in God for this, but for the purposes of this exercise, it's not required. It's going to be better for you if you do in every possible way, but it's not strictly speaking necessary for this exercise. Go ahead and imagine for yourself that you've got all the stuff you want. You've got the home, you got the food, you've got, all the toys or trinkets, whatever it is your heart's desires. You've got everything your heart desires. And imagine the cost of all of that per month, per year, whatever the case is. Now, imagine a bit further that you had so much saved and invested that you could live off of the dividends of that. You could live off of the interest that accrues forever. You've got so much saved, so much invested that your needs, your desires, they're met every month, every year, from now on to forever. It's a secular way to imagine the abundance of God's provision. But maybe you can start to wrap your head around it a bit more in that way. I find for some people, it's actually easier to imagine the numbers than it is to imagine God's provision. So, anyway, however you got to get to this point, just imagine your needs are met. All of your wants are provided for. Your every desire has been given to you already. Now, from that base, given that, well, you're still here, you're still around, you still got some time on your hands, to what would you love to devote your attention from here on out? I mean, imagine if you had your needs met. Your every want was satisfied. Your desires were given to you. At that point, what would you love to devote your attention to? Now, what I'm going to suggest is that you've got a bit of a diagnostic here. You've got a litmus test. There are some folks who maybe they're at a point in life where the thing to which they would love to devote their attention, it's still a bit self-centered. Maybe it's like, wow, I'd love to devote my attention to beating Mario Kart for the thousandth time. I don't know why that's the example that comes to mind, but it's an example. Now, boy, I ought not cast judgment on that as an example, but here's where I'm going with it. Pray for me. Don't judge me. Uh, Many of us find that the thing we would love to devote our attention to actually creates more value for other people as well. In my case, for example, the thing, having had all of my needs and wants and desires provided for, the thing that I love to give my attention to, the thing that I love to devote myself to is getting to know God better and helping people heal and deepen their relationship with God as well. For me, there's nothing else like it. Every time I get the chance to engage in this kind of practice with people, I see the miraculous unfold. I see tangible evidence of God's presence there. And for me, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's so energizing. It just enlivens me in a way that, well, only God can. So in my case, it's quite clear, like, well, that's what I love to devote my time, my energy, my attention to. Here's where I'm going with all of this. As I record this, it's, I don't know, a couple of days before the end of 2025. People are thinking through the New Year's resolution thing. We're wondering, oh, what's going to be different next year compared to this year? What I suggest to you is that when you take this exercise seriously, and you can imagine what it is you would love to devote your attention to, uh, go ahead and do that. Especially if it's something that is of value to other people, it creates surplus value. Go ahead and do that. Like, I don't know whose permission you need to be more loving day in and day out. If you need permission, consider this permission granted from, a random guy on the internet or whatever that's worth. But if the thing you would love to devote your attention to is of benefit to other people, if it is of value in their lives, find a way to get paid for it. Like, uh, and again, what I'll tell you how I'm shifting my business more and more. Because maybe you, like I, have some squeamishness historically around money stuff. I started an experiment several years ago, and I thought, oh, we'll see how it goes. I wasn't sure what to price a new offer I was putting together, and so well, I was presented with the idea to make it pay what affects you. Now, that's not pay what you want. It's not pay what you think is fair. I suggested specifically pay for this. Think about it, reflect on it, pray about it. Pick a number that activates you. Pick a number just beyond what's comfortable. Pick a number that stirs something up, that makes you a little nervous, that gets you a little edgy. Pay something that affects you because we're going to need that activation in order to engage in the kind of work we're here to do. And what I found across the years, over and over and over and over again, when I used that pay what affects you model, the results that my clients got were so much bigger, better, more beautiful than any of the programs I'd been running for years and years before that. And I realized it's because I wasn't doing the thing that we so often do, worrying about high ticket, low ticket, this, that, or the other. I was collapsing the hierarchy. I was making it available to everybody, no matter their circumstances, on the condition that they chose something that actually did activate a bodily response. So then, from the very moment they enrolled, we worked with that bodily response. So if it brought up anxiety, I would help them resolve anxiety in the ways that I've taught you how to do on this channel already. So, like, have at it, have fun, take this and run with it, please. If it brought up excitement, well, we could work with the excitement. Anyway, all this to say, if you, like I did, had some squeamishness about money, this pay what affects you model can be so fruitful if you know how to work with the emotional stuff that it brings up in an embodied relational way. So, all this to say, there is something that you have been given to do. God has prepared good works for you, and you're probably going to know what those good works are because they will call forth an amateur quality in you. God prepared you to do good works in a way like he did his good works out of love, from an outpouring of the essential loving nature. So imagine yourself having all your needs and wants and desires provided for. Maybe you already have faith that they've already been given to you. If you don't yet have that faith, think through it from the secular angle. We can make friends with unrighteous mammon to earn our everlasting habitations, yeah? So think through it in the secular way. Tally up the costs of all of your dream lifestyle. Then tally up the cost of how much you would need to have saved and invested in order to live off of the dividends, the interest that accrues. Uh, if you don't know how to do that, you take the yearly expenses and divide that by 0.04. There you go. Conservatively, that's the amount you would need to have invested in order to just have the interest of your lifestyle accrue. Anyway, whether you want to approach this from the secular side or you approach it from faith, you ask the question, to what would I love to devote my attention if I never had a need to work again? Most of us are going to find from such a base of security, the love just pours out of us. There's something you would love to do, something you would love to devote your attention to. Let yourself be an amateur as God was. And when you find that you're good enough at that thing, that it actually creates value for other people, just charge for it. Uh, it you make an offer, and an offer is an invitation. An offer is not holding them hostage. It's saying, hey, I've got this thing. It does this. Would you like it? And some people are going to say yes. Some people are going to say no. Okay. There's only one savior, and you aren't him. You don't have to go about saving everybody else. You're going to work for some folks, you're not going to work for other folks, and it's all good. So long as you have faith in your provision and you are doing this thing from the amateur attitude, life gets really good really quick. God is not concerned with timelines. He will collapse them in a way that is just, it's nothing short of miraculous. So, anyway, I hope that these ideas can be a blessing in your life. What I am certain of, shouldn't say I'm certain, I don't know the future. What I have faith in is that when you take these and apply them, it will do wonderful things in your life, and you will do wonderful things in others' lives as well. And by God, I think we could use a little bit more of that. So, anyway, God bless, be well, and I will look forward to speaking with you in the next video.